after he established EPB, second thing he did, nationalize banking system. I mean, 96.4% of bank was owned by the government. That's very important. Why do you think that uh, Park Jong-il nationalized the banking system? That's the very important questions where we should actually ask. It's because, I mean, for a business to start our business, what's the most important things for the business? You think money. You need capital, right? So you need capital to start your own business. But if government owned all kinds of banking system, then the firms cannot borrow money from the bank. Actually, the bank is actually the government, right? So that's if you nationalize the banking system. It's today. I mean, the banking system is not national. Bank is not nationalized. They are very independent. But if let's say government has all the bank, then they can select which business they will they will develop, right? Because the business actually had to rely on the bank, right? They need whenever they need money, they should go to bank, and then they ask money for it, right? But if it nationalize it, the government can select which business they wanted to develop. So that's the one way of dependent. That's the way one way of dependent on the the dependent on uh, the states. The business should have relied on the state because of this. First of all, that's the first reason. And second one, plan, subsidize, and protect the industry. So how government then could control the business? The first of all, nationalized banking system. So the government can have money, they can control. But second one is planning economy. The government, every 5 year they announced 5 year economy plan, and then the 5 year economy plan, they talk about like this year we wanted to produce this much semiconductor, or this year we wanted to export like chips, or we wanted to export uh, wood files. So we government actually decide how much do they need for export or consume, and then that's planning. And second is subsidize and protect industry. So subsidize, there are a lot of ways to subsidize. The first of all, since they nationalized bank, so they lend the money with very low interest or no interest, right? Then the the farms need money, but if they can access money without interest or with very low interest, then they will do whatever the government says. That's subsidized. Or tax cut. I mean, you have to pay corporate tax, right? But corporate tax is usually very high, expensive. So usually, like European countries, they complain, or American firms, they complain about this corporate tax. But if you government provide tax cut benefit to the firms, then the firms will do whatever government says. And the protect industry is a little bit different strategy than many countries had adopted. So South Korea is the maybe the latest country who import iPhone in the world, I guess. It's because, I mean, it doesn't really mean that South Korea was poor. No, South Korean government actually wanted to protect Samsung cell phone. How did they do that? They actually say, oh, iPhone is very good cell phone, but it doesn't fit our national regulations. So we have a lot of different national law and regulations, but they can say like, oh, this car is very good, but it doesn't comply with our national laws and regulations. Usually, national laws and regulations were uh, fit into a certain in Korean industry, like Hyundai. So let's say like Hyundai cannot make very good electronic cars these days. So compared to like Tesla or the Chinese cars. I mean, we are better than Japanese cars, but compared to Chinese cars, Chinese they couldn't develop the normal cars, so that's why they gave up. And instead of giving up this this old traditional cars company, they decide to develop uh, electronic cars. That's how China developed electronic cars industry. I mean, that's the kind of protection. South Korean case is this. So until we developed, we prevent from importing. That's how we did. Or there's another way to protect our industry is that we put a lot of import tax. So let's say, okay, we can import cars, but our tax, I'll give you tax like 200%. So let's say the car was $1,000, but I'll give you like 200%. That means like if the cars become $3,000, but Honda is still $1,000 because there's no high heavy taxes like that. So we have very at the time imported taxes system. That's how we protect industry. So when we decide to protect our certain industries, then we protect like this way. That means many firms actually choose the industry because they want it to be protected. So one of the firms should take is the risk, right? But whenever they have economic problems, whenever they have economic downturn, what if the government actually takes this risk instead of them? It will be it will be really good, right? It will be completely different things. So